Hello and welcome everybody. My name's Rose Smith from AbsoluteSoulSecrets.com. Thanks for joining me today for the awesome Aquarius December Horoscope. A lot happening in the heavens this month, and we've got Christmas as well for those of you who celebrate Christmas. Okay, so first thing, there's a minor grand trine for most star signs this month. We also have Venus going retrograde. We have a solar eclipse happening, and that is in Sagittarius in your 11th house of hopes and dreams, groups and connections. And then we have Jupiter changing houses and also changing signs at the end of the month. Jupiter's going into Pisces. So these are really quite big things in the heavens. So a really sort of full-on month for everybody. Okay, before I start, I'll just briefly explain. I like to draw 2 tarot cards as theme cards for the month for you. Then we'll have a look at your horoscope in depth, and then I'll do a psychic channeling at the end, so stick around for that because I never know what I'm going to say. Okay, let's go to the board now. If you're new, please consider subscribing to the channel and hit that notification bell right now. Okay, so let's draw these 2 cards. They often work in very well with the horoscope. Let's have a look what comes out. There's something back here. That one's upside down. That's probably what I noticed. Alright, I don't read upside down cards because there's already so much there, but I'm going to choose this card anyway. Okay, closing my eyes, what do I see in spirit? Right, okay, first I see a light, like a lampshade it is, and it's not turned on, so the light is out, and there's also a chain around the lamp. So this says to me that something's restricted, your light is restricted in some way, awesome Aquarius. And so it's probably a good month to focus on finding out what those restrictions are. That's the first thing. Identify restrictions, okay? You may or may not know, so maybe sit down with a piece of paper and start trying to figure it out. Secondly, after you have identified them, how are you going to release these changes? It's a very big, thick chain around the lamp, okay? Incidentally, the lamp can still turn on even though there's a chain around it, okay? It's just not movable to another place at the moment. If you're thinking of relocating or getting a new job, there's some sort of chain there perhaps that's stopping you from doing that. All right, let's proceed and maybe see what happens in the reading. That chain might fall off. The card that comes up is the 7 of Wands. This is about conflict. It can be either internal, within you, you're in 2 minds about something, you can't decide, and there's different parts of you sort of having a war. That's never fun. Or it can be in the outside world where you have to defend yourself, okay? It's important to be assertive and not aggressive. Action does need to be taken though, however, because of the red bra, that means action. She's got a baseball bat, and there's all these baseball bats here. So, you know, it's time to let people know that you're not a pushover. You can't be walked all over, okay? Even though this does suggest there is a likelihood of conflict, it doesn't mean necessarily that there has to be. Sometimes if you're assertive right, you know, at the start, you can avoid a lot of conflict and misunderstanding by just saying that magic word, and that is no. So it's like it's not up for argument, it's just no. You don't even have to explain why. Okay, so 7 of Wands, be careful there that you don't sacrifice, you know, because with 7s, I often associate sacrifice, so yeah, do be cautious there. And it's like you have some principles or something you believe, but other people don't necessarily believe the same thing. You need courage to stand by your convictions. The second half of the month, let's have a look. Okay, I'm going with that one there. Close my eyes. What do I see? Oh, right. Okay, swords. So this is about analysing, cutting, dissecting, and then making a decision. It might be from something that happens at the beginning of the month or the first half of the month that you have to make some decisions. Maybe you cut something or someone out of your life. The card that comes up is the Five of Cups. This often suggests a loss of some kind. Okay, so it could be that something is cut out of your life, as I just saw there in Spirit. Swords, cutting. With swords, it's about thinking, okay? So it's like taking logical action and getting on and doing the job. You'll see there's 5 cups here. 2 are separate from the 3 cups over here. And there is a red rose that suggests some sort of spiritual love connection, or that you're spiritually attached to somebody. Sometimes it's a job or something that you love, but mostly it's a relationship. There's lots of rain up here that suggests tears. The thing about this, though, even though there's disappointment and loss, it's temporary. Okay, so please remember that. I'm going to draw another card because I don't want to finish off the month on that. And this one comes out, jumps out. I don't know if you noticed that. Okay, the Chariot, a major arcana, very powerful and important. This is about grabbing the bull by the horns, so to speak, and really moving ahead in life and transforming your life. Grab that opportunity, embrace that change, because you can really move on with something now. You'll notice there at the bottom there's also 2 cats. This is about listening to your instincts. The goddess Bast had cats as familiars. This usually means that there'll be some sort of victory. Maybe not immediately, but there's opposing forces and things going on, and this is saying that you're going to be victorious, that there were difficulties but you resolved them and that you got back into balance. Okay, so victory is yours. Okay, I like that. All right, they're your cards, so do bear those in mind. Now I'll just make this bigger because we're going to your horoscope now. All right, things I want to talk about: the minor grand trine with Mars and Scorpio here in your 10th house of career and what makes your heart sing. This is also your general life direction. Mars gives you a lot of energy for independent action, standing on your own 2 feet and moving ahead. That's where that comes in, that card there. It's making a sextile here to Venus in Capricorn in your 12th, so very spiritual sort of time. There could be really positive feelings coming up this month. Okay, it might be after you're victorious you start to feel much better. There's a trine here to Neptune in Pisces in your 2nd house of money. Okay, do be cautious with people asking you for money. Maybe if you cut someone off, or they might come back and want something from you, so do watch that. Neptune in the 2nd house, it's your values, your possessions. Again, if it's the end of a relationship, you probably need to work out a plan, because it seems that your possessions or money might come into it in some way. And then that sextiles back here to Venus and Capricorn in the 12th. Okay, these 3 planets, they're all working together for your greatest good, and so it's fairly significant. Now, the other thing to note is that on the 19th, Venus is going retrograde here in your 12th house. You might need to manage how you feel, because there'll be things coming up from the subconscious, but there's a change and you have to deal with the circumstances in a different way when Venus goes retrograde. Doesn't mean it's bad, maybe things just slow down a bit, or you don't hear. Maybe you've been in contact with someone and then you stop hearing from them, or something like that. And we have a solar eclipse in Sagittarius in your 11th house. Here, this is a brand new beginning to do with groups, connections, friends, and your hopes and dreams, okay? So there's some sort of shake-up, but it starts something new. It starts a new cycle, and that'll be over the next few months. And because it's a solar eclipse, it's in the outside world. It's not just about how you're feeling. It's got real sort of practical considerations, or there's some sort of concrete practicalities there to take care of. Jupiter moves into the second house, and this is very significant too, and then it'll move into Pisces. So I'll talk more about that in a minute. Let's have a look at these other influences. 29th to the 2nd of December, Mars sextiles Venus. Relationships are on your mind, friendships and love relationships. And you might want to help someone in some way, and you feel good about that. There is an opportunity for a new romance or friendship. 30th to the 3rd, Mars conjuncts Mars, gives you lots of initiative and independence and assertiveness, hence this card here. Remember this card. All right. Okay, and you're going to have abundant energy, so you need to put it into decisive action. Remember the swords I saw cutting something off. That's swords are associated with Mars, so the sort of stabbing or cutting of something. And do watch for accidents, anger and irritability. The 3rd sees a solar eclipse in Sagittarius in your 11th house. This also gives you a great need for community and contact with people who are on the same page as you. It could be new friends or the existing friends you have. There's like deepening the bonds with those people that you already know. Also, there's cultural events you might be going out to as well. 2nd to the 5th, Venus sextiles Mars. This is making romance and flirtation quite high on the agenda. You could be feeling warm, expressive and lively, and loving thoughts flow between you and the people you meet, especially the opposite sex. Friendships are strengthened, and you may want to make something beautiful or creative now. 5th to the 8th, Mars sextiles Pluto. There's some sort of major change in your ambitions or your life direction now. There's some sort of life overhaul, and you're looking for a spiritual purpose in your life, basically. You want to be passionately committed to someone or something. So you'll reassess where you're going and why, and you're likely to make ground on some success that's really important to you. The 8th to the 15th, Venus conjuncts Pluto, and this stirs up a lot of deep emotions, and they're quite intense. There could be fears or jealousies or resentment, something like that from deep down within that comes up. And you may develop a powerful attraction to someone who fascinates you. It's a good time to reveal your deepest feelings, especially your fears and yearnings, to people you can actually trust. So do be cautious about that, because sometimes we think we can trust people and then we find out we can't. And that influence is also active from the 24th to the 30th as well. And so bear those 2 dates in mind. And be cautious who you trust. It's a good time to have a psychic reading with one of the psychics at Absolute Soul Secrets, because you know that your confidentiality will be kept. Whereas, if you talk to other people, you can't really sort of say that necessarily. Okay, 12th to the 24th of January 2022, Mars in your 11th house. You may play a leadership role in a group or organisation. You get very passionate about your ideals, and you can stir other people into action. Also, team sports or group efforts work out very well now. 12th to the 15th, Mars sextiles the ascendant, and you can be very clear and above board with other people. And you say your piece, and you are assertive, and it's unlikely to offend anybody. So yeah, go ahead. Because you're more confident, Mars is giving you the energy to be more confident, and other people follow your lead. 13th to the 2nd of January 2022, Mercury moves into your 12th house of the goddess here, or the unconscious, if you like. And it's a great time for quiet study and inward reflection. You're likely to be more sensitive and more intuitive now. You start to put the pieces together. and you've got understanding as to why the situation has come about. So yeah, maybe wait and see. In this state, it might not be the best time to actually put something into practice, because where it comes to communications, because with Mercury in the 12th house, it's more about internalizing all of the discussions rather than going and putting them out in the outside world. 21st of December to the 20th of January 2022, Sun also moves into the 12th house. This is fabulous for giving you insight, okay, especially of a spiritual kind or a psychological kind. Retreat from the world, spend quiet time alone, and relax and rejuvenate. So it's like, if you had any sort of ambitions or ego drives, is sort of lower at the moment. 15th to the 4th of January 2022, Saturn sextiles Mercury. This is fabulous for working with authority figures because you've got excellent concentration and you can communicate very effectively now, and especially anything that requires precision. You're likely to be quite structured and matter-of-fact in your communications, and you reach agreements with others regarding rules and proper procedures. If you have any organisational meetings concerning work, they're likely to go very well. If there's any ambiguous or unclear communications, you can clear them up and resolve them. It's really time to set the record straight, okay? And you might receive very good advice from a consultant or an expert now, and there's also the possibility that you play this role for somebody else. 24th to the 27th, Mars trines Chiron. This gives you the ability to heal yourself and other people, to some extent at least. Gives you the energy. Mars is active, and maybe pushing you towards healing. You could find an important activity or outlet so that you can express your individuality and your creativity. So this is all about your personal health, your emotional well-being. 25th to the 28th, happy Christmas to those who celebrate it. Mars sextiles Saturn. There's some self-discipline. Maybe you're doing some study or training. You have the ability and stamina to concentrate and work carefully. You're likely to achieve something in the physical world now. 26th to the 29th, Mars conjuncts the Sun. You get a burst of energy and you're more bold and assertive. Yay! Here's this card here. If your will is blocked, you might become angry. So watch that. Watch for accidents and irritability as well. It's important that if you can compromise with people on things, small things that are not important to you, do that. Then we have 27th to the 11th of May 2022. Jupiter moves into your second house here, and on the 28th it moves into Pisces. Okay, so this brings money matters and concerns about material resources, or maybe, your possessions you might be thinking about. So you should secure your possessions and valuables. You may want to think about how to increase your assets, how to make more money, because Jupiter likes to make things big. You can greatly improve your financial status if you curb a tendency not to take unnecessary risks. So the only sort of possible issue that could happen here is that you feel overconfident, and because it's money, you want to be especially careful with that. 28th to the 31st, Mars conjuncts Mercury. It's not the best time to be diplomatic or tactful, because you probably won't feel very cautious. You're more likely to be straightforward, so do watch that you're not overly straightforward to the point where people get hurt. It's not the time to be aggressive. Remember, there's a difference between assertiveness, which is all about your rights and your space, and aggression, which then impinges on other people's rights and their space. You are likely to be very sharp mentally, and it's a great time to do some sort of mental work at the moment. 21st to the 8th of January, Saturn squares Uranus. We've had this in and out all year, and it goes through 2022, the majority of the year. So we're sort of used to it, but it's frustrating. You might find that this time you don't feel as enthusiastic as you used to before. You may feel blocked and hemmed in. Okay, so that goes back to the lamp with the chain around it, right at the start that I saw. It's like there's a restriction, and some way this is affecting your radiance or your brilliance in the world. You just need to, at the moment, sort of work within it. You can, in the vision, you can turn the light on, okay? The only reason is that it's restricting you is because you think it is. There's another way around this where you can shine your light brilliantly into the world regardless of any restrictions. But in any case, at some point, these chains are going to fall off. I just know it. So it's to do with authority figures, particularly conservative people, established rules, that sort of thing that Saturn loves, that kind of structure. It's time to adopt a new angle. Try and look at the situation with fresh eyes, because there is a way around this. Do be cautious with reckless behaviour. It's not the time to take needless risks now, and watch you don't break the law. If you're driving along with a mobile phone in your hand, you'll probably get caught, because that Saturn just loves to do that. So yeah, watch the reckless and risky behaviour. It's not likely to work. And most importantly, don't give up on things that are really important to you. Be patient and try and look at them from a new angle, because there is a way through this. Okay, but some really powerful influences and good influences that are pushing you towards your independence and assertiveness, and also encouraging you to take initiative. Now, I'm just going to close my eyes and see what I can see for you. Awesome Aquarius for the month of December 2021. I'll get the colour purple, blue and purple actually. So this is about your crown chakra opening up and spiritual energy just pouring into your crown chakra. It's like there's a great big fountain here, and I get you sort of picking it up and holding it to your mouth and drinking. It's almost like the fountain of youth. You could be feeling much younger. It's not all over Red Rover, there's more to go, but you make big steps this month in your own personal growth, and also the understanding and comprehension of the situation, because all this purple energy just flying into the top of your crown chakra, and drinking this fountain of water, it's like living waters, so you may also have more energy and feel physically much better than what you did before. It is a great time if you're looking to drop a few pounds or kilos. You might find that you're feeling so much better that you can give up food to some extent at least, and lose the weight that you want to lose. I'm in the sky and there's clouds here, but they turn into like balloons, like it's like a child's party or something like that. So at first the clouds, you know, they might be a bit vague or worrisome, or, you know, there's a few clouds in your life. The thing about clouds is they blow away really quickly. But while I'm up here, then I see they turn into, you know, balloons, and kids here having a fun time. So your inner child is actually very happy by the end of the month, despite any, you know, things that might happen that, you know, you have to let go of from the past. You're letting go of something so that you can be lighter. You might lose weight as a result, and, or, you know, it might not be easy, but it's easier than usual, put it that way. Okay, anything else? There's some coins. I see someone, it's a man, putting coins in the slot. That means change is coming. I'm probably a bit biased on that point with the coins, because I just think of my husband actually, because he's an Aquarian, and putting coins into something. So putting some effort into changing something. Okay, that's probably, don't know what he's changing, but we'll find out, won't we? All right, and watch your hair. Be careful of your hands. Something about hand cream. I don't know if it's like psoriasis or some sort of cream some people have to put on their hands. Let me know in the comments if you know what that's about. All right, that's it, everybody. Hope this is useful for you. Thanks so much for listening today. Have a wonderful month, and if you're new, subscribe and be alive. Okay, I'll see you all again soon. Bye for now. Thanks so much for watching. Please visit my website, absolutesoulsecrets.com, for all things spiritual. Have a lovely day.